Hello, welcome to Tier Nerd. And this time I'll be ranking music. I'm going to be ranking music from different jrpg games I played. So this time I'm doing the Saga franchise. So I really like the Saga franchise. They're a very unique brand of games. And this time I'm going to be ranking the music. And I'm going to try to go chronological order. I think the games are amazing, and even some of the ones that aren't, the music's still good. So first, let's look at the Saga games, Saga 1, 2, and 3. So remember, Final Fantasy Legend is just it's not a real name. Like Final Fantasy Legend is basically the first three Saga games for Game Boy, so they're not really Final Fantasy games. So this is Final Fantasy. So this Final Fantasy Legend 1, that's Saga 1. This is Saga 2, and this is Saga 3. So they're all good. They're from the Game Boy, so they have you're limited by the Game Boy's hardware, but still I did like the music. Not like I can't say it's like super memorable or anything like the music. No, I mean it is like it's cool. Like I don't remember exactly too much about these soundtracks, but I do remember Final Fantasy Legend 1 probably having a solid soundtrack. I think some of the battle themes were cool and the world map music. Yeah, like I think it's solid. Like I mean, it's definitely solid music. Saga 2, I remember a little bit better as far as the music's concerned. So that's why I'm gonna put it up here. It's got that famous the famous final boss theme and all of that. And just I recommend listening to orchestral arrangements. All this. I mean, I've already said it for Final Fantasy music and Dragon Quest. But same thing for Saga. Like it's harder to find good, Saga music orchestrated because it's not as popular. This is more of a obscure franchise compared to say Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and Fire Emblem. But the you can find orchestrated versions of this music as well, and piano. Like I found some great Saga Frontier Two arrangements, for example. Like there's a good piano album for some of these games. We got Final Fantasy Legend 3, which to me is not like I think it's because the game is not as memorable. I didn't like Final Fantasy. I don't like Saga 3 as much as the first two games. Like the second game is my favorite out of the three. So the third one was my least favorite. So I think that's why the music just didn't quite stand out to me as much. I just didn't really think it was as great, but still solid franchise, still good music. So I think it's safe to say put it up here. This I think I'll put this in A. Like it's good. B. I don't know because it's just not quite as memorable. Like I just don't remember the music as much. But the Legend 3, Saga 3, I'll put below it. Saga 2, I think deserves at least an A tier. Let's see. Then we have Romancing Saga One. So this is the cover for the PS2 version, but I played the old Super Nintendo version of it. And Romancing Saga One's decent. Amazing final boss theme, interesting battle theme, boss theme. I mean, this is where the music starts to get very interesting, very unique. Like the Romancing Saga games, Saga Frontier One and Two, they're just very unique in the music, very epic. The orchestral arrangements are just beautiful, like the final dungeon arrangements, the final boss arrangements, are just amazing. Some of the background music, some of it, is filler. Like a lot of games I'll play, most of it's filler. But I mean, there's just some amazing pieces. So I think I'll rate it lower than Saga Two. I just don't remember it being quite as memorable. So I think I'll put Romancing Saga One as far as the music's concerned, not the games, but the actual music. So I think I'll put it down here. Romancing Saga 2, I really like the music. Um, I think it's like a more of an S tier. I think I remember listening to some of the orchestral arrangements. They were just amazing. But I mean, you have all those different battle themes. And yeah, I think it's solid. I don't know, actually, maybe not quite S tier, but like, I mean, I can't give it an S tier just because like two or three tracks are amazing, but I think overall it's probably more of an A tier. But yeah, there's some amazing tracks in Romance Number Two. As a game, I loved it. Like it was amazing. Romancing Saga 3 probably a little worse, but still solid. Like I played Romancing Saga 3 first, actually. Romance number 2 I didn't play until maybe a few years ago. And yeah, they're solid. Like you mostly it's the battle themes. The battle themes and boss themes are very unique, and sometimes you get interesting dungeon themes and the location, and different town themes. So I'd say that's mostly what makes the music good. It's very unique. Like it's not you don't really hear this kind of music from other games. So I'd say like so yeah, that's why I'll put it up that high. Now, Saga Frontier One. I think this is more of an S tier. Now it's got some filler pieces in there for sure, but Saga Frontier One has seven different final boss themes. I mean, that alone just makes it amazing. Different final boss themes, and I like just about all of them. And then you've got interesting battle themes and like five different boss themes. I think like just a lot of different battle and boss themes. Like, and that's a strength of the Saga series. I think is like some of the more recent games, like Saga Frontier One and Two. You just have a lot of different battle and boss themes, and they're usually really good. Um, some of the music's weird, like some of it I don't like, but a lot of it still very solid, very unique music. So yeah, Kenji Ito. I don't remember exactly which games he composed. I'm pretty sure he composed Saga Frontier One, and I think he composed all these other ones, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But he's the composer. Now Saga Frontier Two is different. You had Masashi Amuzu for Saga Frontier Two, but Saga Frontier One was still Kenji Ito, and it's a pretty good. It's a pretty good style, I think, and very good, very big soundtrack, like long soundtrack for Saga Frontier One. Now, Saga Frontier 2. Now, as a game, Saga Frontier 2 is probably worse than Saga Frontier 1. Frontier 2 had a lot of issues. Despite a good storyline, it had a lot of issues as far as the game's concerned. But the music, Saga Frontier 2 is one of my absolute favorite soundtracks. Like the music is just amazing. Because the composer Masashi Amuzu, he's like half German, half Japanese. So you can definitely see the Germanic influence. Like he had a lot of the Germanic classical influence. You could definitely see Saga Frontier too, and a lot of the titles of a lot of the pieces are actually like German words. And overall, like there's the common motif throughout, and like it's it might be boring, like you keep hearing the same theme throughout a lot of the pieces, but I think it just works so great. Like Saga Frontier 2 just I like just about all the music, like just great atmospheric music, background, great piano soundtrack. Like the piano arrangements of a lot of pieces are just amazing. Very unique soundtrack. That's so yeah. So Saga Frontier One and Two, I think, are the top. Like they're the S tiers definitely in the franchise. Um, for that, were the Romancing Saga series probably a bit worse, but still solid A tier. And then the Game Boy games are probably I just don't remember them as well. And they're just not quite as memorable. So that's why they drop a little lower in the B tier, but still really good, to be honest. Can't complain, really. I mean, as long as you're getting a B tier or higher, then it's solid music. So that's all good. And then Unlimited Saga, Unlimited Saga, as a game, it's like F tier. Actually, it's not even D. Like, if you saw my other video, like I ranked it at F tier. Like Unlimited Saga is just that bad. But as far as the music's concerned, what I've heard of the music, when I've listened to the soundtrack, I know it's a good soundtrack. Like some of it's a little weird. It's some of the battle themes and stuff. It gets a little modern and it's some kind of techno beat and all that. Like sometimes it's good. Like I'll be honest, sometimes it's good. But some of the battle music and the music in the game is weird from what I've heard because I've listened to parts of the soundtrack, even though I haven't played much of the game. But I think the music's solid from what I've heard. I like if I had actually finished playing the game, I would have probably really enjoyed the music because there's a lot of different battle themes and boss themes, and they seem to be pretty good. So I don't know if it's A tier. Like it's probably not S tier, but I still think even though I haven't played much of the game, I do believe it's still a solid soundtrack. Unlimited Saga would probably be at least an A tier as far as the music's concerned. Um, I don't know where to put it. Like maybe lower A tier, just because like I haven't really played much of it. But from what I heard of the music, I think it's a very solid soundtrack. Like I mean, it's still good music despite the fact that the game is terrible. So yeah, this is my ranking of the saga franchise and its music. And a very interesting, unique style of music. Um, Kind of out there, like if you want something a little interesting, it's good. Kind of classical in a way, not as much as just like Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest, that's like romantic era music, but Saga Frontier just has this interesting style to it, and especially I would say Saga Frontier Two definitely has a little more of that classical feel to it. And yeah, so Frontier and Frontier Two, I'd say are definitely my top ones in the franchise, S tier, and then everything else is still really solid. So yeah, um, stay tuned for more videos.